I'm not just talking to everyone, I'm talking to you, the one who's tired but still trying. Good morning. There comes a moment in every person's life when they must make a decision to stop blending into the background and start standing out. Success is not about being the loudest voice in the room or forcing attention. It's about becoming a person of such value, excellence, and confidence that people naturally notice you and never forget you. The first step to this transformation begins inside your mind. Your thoughts shape your actions. Your actions shape your results. And your results shape your destiny. You must make a conscious shift from passive thinking to deliberate living. You must program your mind for leadership, achievement, and resilience. Success doesn't chase those who wish for it. It chases those who prepare for it daily. Remember, no one is coming to push you, praise you, or rescue you. You must build the discipline to push yourself, celebrate your own progress, and rescue your own future. Be the person who is always growing, always contributing, always showing up stronger than yesterday. Be the person who sets the standard, not one who blends into it. Decide today to become so skilled, so disciplined, so valuable that the world simply cannot afford to ignore you. The first great turning point in any life of success begins with a decision to no longer be average. Most people spend their lives blending into the crowd, following the paths laid out by others, waiting for permission to excel. They move with the current, unaware that real achievement demands that you step out of line and chart your own course. To stand out, you must first decide that your life will be different, that you will no longer be content being another face in the crowd, another name on a list, another forgotten story. This decision is not made lightly. It requires courage because standing out means you are willing to be noticed, willing to be judged, and willing to be misunderstood. You must develop the mental toughness to break away from the need for approval. The world often discourages uniqueness because it disrupts the comfort of the familiar, but you must resolve to be different, to think differently, act differently, and aim for a higher level of performance than the masses around you. Deciding to stand out also means taking personal responsibility for everything in your life. When you commit to rising above average, you forfeit the luxury of excuses. You no longer blame circumstances, other people, or external conditions for your outcome. You accept that you are the architect of your destiny. This sense of ownership is empowering, but it also comes with the weight of accountability. The price of greatness is full responsibility for the quality of your life. Another part of this decision involves setting higher standards for yourself. You can no longer accept what is convenient or comfortable. You must demand excellence from yourself in every task, large or small. When you hold yourself to a higher level of discipline, performance, and integrity, you automatically separate yourself from the vast majority who settle for good enough. Excellence is never accidental. It is a conscious choice backed by consistent action. When you decide to stand out, you also begin to attract different opportunities. The marketplace rewards those who bring extraordinary value, unique skills, and relentless energy. People notice those who exceed expectations. Leaders emerge when they do what others are unwilling to do, working harder, thinking deeper, showing more initiative, and demonstrating greater resilience. By committing to distinction, you create a magnetic field around your work and your character that draws people, resources, and opportunities to you. Above all, the decision to stand out initiates a lifelong journey of growth. It means you are no longer in competition with others. You are in competition with your best self. Every day becomes a new opportunity to improve, to refine, to strengthen. This mindset transforms how you view challenges, not as obstacles, but as stepping stones toward mastery. Every struggle becomes fuel for your personal evolution, and it all begins again each day with a decision to be different. Your mindset is the master key to your future. Every action you take, every decision you make, stems directly from the dominant thoughts you carry in your mind. If your thoughts are rooted in confidence, belief, and vision, your actions will naturally align with success. If your thoughts are filled with doubt, fear, and limitation, your actions will reflect hesitation, procrastination, and missed opportunity. Mastering your mindset is not a one-time event. It is a daily discipline that determines whether you rise to your full potential or remain trapped by invisible barriers. The most important realization you can have is that you control your thoughts. They do not control you. You are not a prisoner of past experiences, early conditioning, or outside influences unless you choose to be. At any moment, you can decide to reject self-limiting beliefs and install new empowering ones. You can program your mind just like you program a computer, feeding it with images, ideas, and instructions that lead to growth, strength, and success. Mastery of the mind begins by taking control of the information you allow into it. One of the key habits of those who master their mindset is that they guard it carefully. They understand that the mind is highly impressionable, and so they are selective about the books they read, the conversations they engage in, and the media they consume. They deliberately fill their minds with positive, educational, and uplifting material. Just as you would protect your body from harmful substances, you must protect your mind from negative influences that weaken your belief in yourself and your mission. Another critical element is learning to think long-term. Short-term thinking leads to shortcuts, impulsive decisions, and ultimately regret. Those who master their mindset train themselves to delay gratification, to visualize the bigger picture, and to act today in ways that build the future they want. They understand that temporary discomfort is a small price to pay for lasting success. By continually reminding themselves of their long-term vision, they align their daily habits with their ultimate goal. Mindset mastery also requires resilience, the ability to stay strong under pressure, to bounce back from setbacks, and to maintain belief in yourself when results are slow to appear. It is easy to have a positive attitude when everything is going well. True mastery is proven when challenges arise, when plans fall apart, and when adversity tests your commitment. Those who have developed mental toughness view setbacks as lessons, not defeats. They use every experience, good or bad, to reinforce their inner strength. Finally, mastering your mindset means constantly upgrading your identity. You must see yourself not as you are today, but as the person you are becoming. Identity shapes behavior. If you see yourself as capable, resourceful, and destined for greatness, your actions will naturally follow that script. Every day, affirm your highest potential. Speak to yourself with the language of champions. Believe that you are worthy of success, not someday, but now. This belief becomes the invisible engine that drives you to higher levels of achievement and influence. Living deliberately means you no longer leave your life to chance. Most people drift through their days reacting to whatever comes their way, answering emails, handling emergencies, responding to requests, without ever directing their energy toward a bigger purpose. They confuse movement with progress. But movement without direction leads to exhaustion, not achievement. To live deliberately is to wake up each day with clear intentions, a clear focus, and a clear commitment to your highest priorities. Living deliberately starts with clarity. You must know exactly what you want in every important area of your life: your career, your finances, your health, your relationships. Without clear goals, it's easy to become trapped in busyness that leads nowhere. When you have clarity, every decision becomes simpler. You can easily determine what deserves your time and what must be ignored. You stop chasing distractions and start pursuing what truly matters to you. The deliberate person plans their day the night before. They decide in advance what their top priorities will be. They set clear targets for what must be accomplished. This one simple habit separates high achievers from the majority who merely hope to be productive. Hope is not a strategy. Action plans, schedules, and relentless execution are the tools of those who live life on purpose. When you pre-plan your day, you give yourself the power to act with intention rather than react out of habit. Living deliberately also means being proactive rather than reactive. A reactive life is controlled by outside forces, circumstances, demands, other people's opinion. A proactive life is governed by inner forces, your vision, your standards, your values. Instead of waiting for opportunities, you create them. Instead of waiting for motivation, you generate. You understand that the future is not something you enter, it's something you build, moment by moment, with every choice you make. Another hallmark of deliberate living is self-discipline. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. It is easy to be motivated when you're excited. It is discipline that carries you when excitement fades. Those who live deliberately train themselves to do what needs to be done, whether they feel like it or not. They resist the temptation of short-term comfort in favor of long-term reward. They realize that freedom, true freedom, is only possible through disciplined action. Finally, living deliberately requires you to constantly evaluate and adjust. Life is dynamic, and so must be your strategies. You must reflect regularly. What is working? What is not? What must I change? A deliberate person doesn't stubbornly cling to failing methods. They are flexible, adaptable, and committed to continuous improvement. They measure their progress against their goals, not against the opinions or expectations of others. They live each day fully awake, fully engaged, and fully committed to the life they are determined to create. Self-reliance is the foundation of all lasting success. When you make the decision to rely on yourself, you take full command of your destiny. You stop waiting for someone else to save you, sponsor you, or recognize you. You understand deep in your spirit that if you want something to happen, it is up to you to make it happen. True freedom begins the moment you accept full responsibility for your own life, not part of it, not just the convenient parts, but all of it. Developing self-reliance means abandoning the mindset of entitlement. No one owes you success, happiness, or opportunity. Waiting for someone to hand you a better life is the surest way to be disappointed. Successful people operate with the mindset that they must earn everything they desire. They do not waste time complaining about what's unfair. Instead, they invest their energy into improving themselves, sharpening their skills, and creating value that the world cannot ignore. Being self-reliant also means trusting yourself, trusting your decisions, your instincts, and your ability to figure things out. You will not always have all the answers in advance. Sometimes you will have to move forward with limited information and adjust along the way. But the greatest confidence comes from action. Each time you step out boldly, solve a problem, or overcome a challenge on your own, you build inner strength. You begin to realize that you are more capable than you once believed. In a world that often encourages dependency, self-reliance sets you apart. It gives you an incredible advantage because you are not easily shaken by external events. Markets can change, leaders can come and go, systems can fail, but the self-reliant individual adapts, persists, and thrives. They build their lives on internal strength, not external circumstances. Their success is portable because it is rooted within themselves, not attached to a specific job, person, or situation. Self-reliance also fuels resilience. When you no longer expect others to fix your problems, you become faster at finding solutions. You stop blaming and start creating. Challenges that would paralyze others become opportunities for you to rise. You begin to welcome adversity, knowing that each obstacle conquered on your own strengthens your independence. Instead of shrinking from responsibility, you run toward it, because you know that responsibility brings power. Finally, cultivating self-reliance transforms how you view your goals and dreams. You no longer wait for the perfect timing, the perfect team, or the perfect conditions. You start where you are, with what you have, and you make it work. You build momentum through sheer determination. You learn that progress does not require perfection. It requires persistence. The more you practice self-reliance, the more unstoppable you become, and the more you realize that the person you needed all along was already within you. Commitment to continuous growth is one of the clearest markers of those who achieve extraordinary success. Growth is not a phase you pass through. It must become a permanent way of living. Those who rise to the top never settle. They never decide that they have arrived. They understand that life is a constant process of learning, stretching, evolving. When you commit to growth, you commit to becoming better today than you were yesterday, and better tomorrow than you are today. Continuous growth demands that you seek discomfort. Comfort zones are where potential goes to die. You must intentionally place yourself in situations that challenge you, that test your skills, that stretch your thinking. Growth happens at the edge of your capabilities, not within the safe boundaries of what you already know. Every skill you master, every fear you overcome, every new discipline you develop, expands the size of your future. If you want bigger opportunities, you must first become a bigger person. Another essential element of growth is the willingness to learn from everyone and everything. Success leaves clues, but only those with open minds and humble hearts can find them. Every book you read, every conversation you have, every setback you face contains lessons. The question is whether you are paying attention. Those committed to growth are constant students. They ask questions, they seek feedback, they reflect on their experiences. They are not fragile. They are hungry for wisdom, no matter where it comes from. Continuous growth also requires relentless self-assessment. You cannot grow if you are unwilling to be honest with yourself. You must regularly measure your results against your potential, not against the efforts of others. Are you operating at your highest level of discipline, focus, and creativity? Where are you coasting? Where are you making excuses? Growth demands that you confront your weaknesses without flinching and commit to turning them into strength. The brutal truth is your best weapon for transformation. Another vital habit for continuous growth is setting bigger goals. Small goals create small growth. Big, challenging goals force you to become more, to think more strategically, to work more efficiently, to lead more powerfully. Each time you set a goal that is just beyond your current capabilities, you activate new levels of drive and creativity within yourself. The process of striving towards something difficult is what transforms you. It's not just about achieving the goal, it's about who you become on the journey. Finally, committing to growth means embracing the long view. Real growth is not immediate. It is built slowly, steadily, through countless small wins and lessons over time. Those who demand quick results are often the first to quit. But those who play the long game, those who understand that greatness is a marathon, not a sprint, are the ones who ultimately rise. They persist through plateaus. They endure seasons of struggle. And because they never stop growing, they eventually reach heights that once seemed impossible. Becoming invaluable is one of the greatest strategies for building a life of influence, opportunity, and wealth. In any field, at any level, the individuals who cannot be easily replaced are the ones who rise to the top. To be invaluable means you bring so much skill, so much excellence, and so much reliability to the table that people seek you out, depend on you, and reward you. Your work, your attitude, and your results create a reputation that precedes you, a reputation that opens doors others only dream of. The journey to becoming invaluable starts with mastering your craft. You must decide to be exceptional at what you do. Mediocrity is invisible. Excellence is magnetic. Whatever your field, study it deeply. Practice the fundamentals until they become second nature. Develop specialized knowledge that few others possess. Excellence is never an accident. It is the result of focused, disciplined, and deliberate effort over time. When you become the best at what you do, you become indispensable to those around you. In addition to technical skill, becoming invaluable requires developing strong character traits, reliability, integrity, initiative, and resilience. Skill might get you noticed, but character earns lasting trust. Be the person who always follows through, who does what they say they will do, who solves problems instead of creating them. In a world full of broken promises and unmet expectations, simply being someone others can count on immediately sets you apart and increases your value exponentially. Another dimension of being invaluable is your ability to create results under pressure. Many people can perform when conditions are perfect. Few can deliver when circumstances are challenging. If you can be the person who remains calm under stress, who thinks clearly in chaos, and who produces solutions when others are overwhelmed, your value will skyrocket. Organizations, teams, and leaders are always searching for those rare individuals who can perform at a high level regardless of external conditions. Furthermore, to become truly invaluable, you must be committed to continuous innovation. Complacency is the enemy of value. You cannot rely forever on what you already know or what you have already achieved. The market evolves, technology advances, and new challenges emerge. Those who continue learning, adapting, and improving stay ahead of the curve. They anticipate needs before others see them. They bring fresh ideas, better methods, and higher standards to every environment they enter. Finally, being invaluable means lifting others as you climb. It's not enough to simply outperform everyone else. You must also contribute to the success of those around you. Share your knowledge, mentor others, solve problems that extend beyond your immediate responsibilities. When you make yourself a force multiplier, someone who raises the performance of the entire team or organization, your worth becomes undeniable. In a world where true leadership is rare, those who elevate others while excelling themselves become impossible to ignore. The truth is simple: greatness is not reserved for a chosen few. It is available to anyone, including you, who is willing to think differently, act deliberately, and demand more from themselves. When you shift your mindset, take full responsibility, commit to daily growth, and make yourself invaluable, you position yourself as a force the world cannot ignore. You no longer wait for permission. You no longer hope for recognition. You become the recognition. You become the person whose results, whose discipline, whose energy make an impact everywhere you go. Starting today, make the decision that you will no longer blend into the background. You will no longer live by accident. You will stand out because you have built yourself into someone who simply cannot be overlooked. Your future, your influence, your success, your legacy will be the direct result of the new standard you set for yourself now. The world is waiting for your greatness. It's time to step forward and show them who you have decided to become.